Hello students, in your daily routine, you all must have come across with numerous types of records and you all must also have been familiar with those. Today, we are going to have a briefing over the various types of records which an organization needs to maintain in order to run their business efficiently. In a simple language, a record is one such element which is kept not only by business organizations but an individual too maintains it. Let's take an example to understand it in an effective way. You all must be watching various types of sports like cricket, tennis and soccer, etc. In all these sports, various types of records are maintained. Example, a player's record is shown in a statistical form about his or her achievements and world records which they establish. To get a clear understanding, if we take the example of the famous Indian cricketer Virat Kohli, as he is the heartthrob of millions of cricket crazy fans. His records are shown in the different formats which he plays. As you all know, cricket has three different formats: Test cricket, One Day cricket, and T20 internationals. So, you would see how many runs are scored by Virat Kohli in Test, One Day, and T20 internationals. The record which has been generated for a particular player allows his or her performance to compare with other players. Obviously, a compilation of different types of records definitely helps in understanding the player in a much better way. Now, this is nothing but the types of records which are maintained by the statistician and made by the player. You all must be aware that thousands of organizations are run in the business world and each and every organization needs to keep a variety of records for their own benefit. Before proceeding further, let us understand the meaning of record. A record is nothing but the collection of an item or data which is used for future references. There are so many forms of records which multiple organizations do maintain. Example, a school or college needs to keep the record of various students, faculty members and the administration staff, the total number of students taking admission and the number of students passing out in a semester or a year, the attendance list of all the students, the record of various activities taking place during the year. Example, the record of an industrial visit made by the students, the annual gathering function conducted in the school, various cultural programs being held during the academic year, different types of workshops or sessions being conducted for the students, as well as any placement activity being conducted during the year. The record of semester or annual results of students, record of students' achievements like trophies, certificates, etc. Along with maintaining student records, a school or college also needs to keep the record of the faculty members. Example, the total strength of teaching staff, a record of a faculty's documents, resume, educational testimonials, etc. needs to be maintained. The same goes with the administrative staff also. A proper and tidy record will help the organization for smooth functioning of their activities. If we take the example of an individual, what kind of records does an individual keep? If we take into account the current trend of watching television, we have adopted a smart way of watching television by recording our favorite programs and watching them repeatedly anytime as per our convenience. This recording facility allows an individual to maintain the record of their favorite programs which he or she can watch in future. Now, this is nothing but a compilation of your recorded data stored in the hard disk of the device. For applying a job, any individual needs to maintain the testimonials, resume and any extra curricular achievements in a documented form, etc. Nowadays, we have developed a habit of creating and maintaining records by taking an image or picture of it. Thanks to the mobile technology revolution, we all possess camera phones which come in very handy to take pictures and make a record of it. The advantages include ability to use very high density storage media, shorter retrieval time than hard copy when the images are well indexed, multiple users and access levels are possible, ease of making copies of the image records. Digital images do not lose quality from generation to generation. Well made copies and derivatives can be as good as the original images. Okay, then let us start with administrative records. These are the records which pertain to the origin, development, activities and accomplishments of the agency. Example, a member's register, employment records and tax records. Notices records also include adequate notices of association meetings and special resolutions to be given to all members and notice periods to be specified. Financial records. Associations need to keep records of the association's finances. Taxation and industrial legislation also require financial records to be kept. Associations must keep sufficient accounting or financial records so that the financial transactions and financial positions of the association are correctly recorded, so that these accounts can be conveniently audited if required. Annual report. Many medium to large associations compile an annual report which is tabled at the AGM. Annual report is an excellent way of summarizing the main achievements and highlights of the past 12 months. Generally, it includes the items chairperson's report, staff report, activity report, annual statistics, annual financial report, list of staff, management and volunteers, employment records. In addition to the records required, associations may wish to set up some of the employment related record systems that can help organizations run smoothly. These could include records of all job descriptions, selection criteria, past advertisements and job position, records of selection processes and outcomes, issues of employee performance and position review, records on staff training and professional development, etc. These types of records come very handy for future job selection process. Nowadays, employees prefer a safer workplace along with better salary, job security, etc. So, an organization has to keep a healthy and safer environment. So, to make the process more efficient, companies are keeping the safety records of the workplace. Complaints, incidents, risk management analysis, training details, safety committee minutes and copies of specific management committee resolutions regarding health and safety should be kept in a separate file for easy access and reference. In the age of e-commerce and emergence of various online portals, maintenance of service delivery records is a must. In fact, it will help the organization to grow by looking over the past records. Example, companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, Jabong, etc. maintain service delivery records efficiently to keep a check on their own performance. It helps to acknowledge achievements, minimize risk of professional negligence, facilitate communications, ensure industry or professionally based requirements are met, and assist in evaluation and planning. This may take the form of statistic sheets, case files or employee reports. Students, now we will see some most common elements of records such as published materials, brochures, leaflets, promotional items, etc. Especially in all marketing organizations for the purpose of sales promotion activities, advertising, etc. Unpublished materials, correspondence, financial records, planning records. For communication with the clients and customers, strategy design and implementation and the financial status of the company, these records are must. Audiovisual and data processing records, slides, photographs, tapes, cassette, motion pictures, film strips, DVDs. There are several classifications or types of records. All records are scheduled as either temporary or permanent. These are considered a records disposition. Temporary records must be retained for a determinable period of time or until a specific act or event is completed. They should not be preserved indefinitely. Electronic records. Electronic records are records that are stored in a form that only a computer can process. These records are defined as numeric, graphic, audio, and textual information recorded on any medium, example magnetic tape, optical disc, or CD-ROM, and which satisfy the overall definition of a record. This applies to all electronic information systems, whether on microcomputers or mainframe computers or personal computers, including both laptop and desktop, regardless of storage media, in network or standalone configurations. Numerous companies, for transacting their business, needs correspondence, and to do it on regular basis and for efficient and smooth exchange of business ideas, a record of correspondence is necessary. Record staff must deal promptly and accurately with many different kinds of correspondence. Incoming correspondence will reach the records office in a number of different ways. Some will come through the mail, some by hand, some by telex, fax or electronic mail. There will also be differences in the way in which items are addressed. Some will be addressed to a ministry, department or agency, and some to individuals either by name or by title of office. Other items may be either inadequately or illegibly addressed. A smaller number of items will bear security or privacy markings such as confidential or personal. Some mail may contain checks, money or other valuables which will need to be carefully recorded and accounted for in the records office. Mail containing valuables. Post contains or likely to contain checks, bank drafts, money orders or other valuable items that must be carefully safeguarded from the time they are received. A written record of all postal remittances received each day must be prepared. Electronic mail. In the future, more communications will be received by electronic mail on computers used by officers at their desk. In all cases, when incoming electronic mail is printed for filing, any outgoing reply should also be printed and filed with the incoming message, where possible. Email messages should relate to one subject only to facilitate filing. If an email relates to several subjects, copies will need to be made and placed on the appropriate files. Ultimately, it will be possible to file and retain electronic messages electronically. Supporting business documents records. Purchases, sales, payroll, and other transactions you have in your business will generate supporting documents. Supporting documents include sales slips, paid bills, invoices, receipts, deposit slips, and cancelled checks. These documents contain the information you need to record in your books. It is important to keep these documents because they support the entries in your books and on your tax return. You should keep them in an orderly fashion and in a safe place. For instance, organize them by the year and the type of income or expense. Gross receipts are the income you receive from your business. You should keep supporting documents that show the amounts and sources of your gross receipts. Deposit information like cash and credit sales, receipt books, invoice, etc. Purchases are the items you buy and resell to customers. If you are a manufacturer or producer, this includes the cost of all raw materials or parts purchased to manufacture into finished products. Your supporting document should show the amount paid and that the amount was for purchases. Documents for purchasing include credit card receipts and statements, invoices. Example, Bajaj Auto purchases spare parts, tools and locomotives from other supporting industries to manufacture automobiles. Expenses are the cost you incur to carry on your business. Your supporting documents should show the amount paid and description that shows the amount was for a business expense. Account statements, credit card receipts and statements, invoices, petty cash slips for small cash payments. Example, purchase of furniture, air conditioners, lighting and fixtures. Usually in marketing companies, the administration department has to keep the record of employees' conveyance, travel allowance, accommodation, etc. How much budget has been allotted and how much expenditure the employee has made will be reflected on the record sheet. Assets record, machinery and furniture that you own and use in your business. You must keep records to verify certain information about your business assets. You need records to compute the annual depreciation and the gain or loss when you sell the assets. Documents for assets should show certain information like purchase price, selling price, expenses of sale. Creating and maintaining thorough business records is essential. These records will help you analyze the profitability of your business, stay out of trouble with tax authorities, maintain positive relationships with clients and vendors, protect your business from lawsuits and win lawsuits if you are harmed. For the most part, you can choose any record keeping system that works for you. However, laws and best practices require specific methods of record keeping and length of time to keep different types of records. Which specific regulations and practices apply to you will depend on your line of business. Certain records are key to all businesses. However, we will discuss a few of the most important ones here. Client files. You should have paper files and electronic files for every client and for every project. It is important to keep a record of the work you have done and the business agreements you have made in case you or the other party has a question about it after the fact. Also, sometimes you can use your past assignments and agreements to inform your future ones, saving your time. Client files are also a good place to store notes about a client's preferences or anything else unique to that client that you want to remember. Example, accounting and tax records. If your business has complicated financial records or if you want to be able to prepare financial statements with the click of a button, business accounting software can be a big help. In many cases, spreadsheet software can serve all of your accounting needs at least while your business is small. The types of records you need to keep for accounting and tax purposes include business expenses, bank statements, annual tax returns, payroll, inventory, sales, income records, invoices, etc. Other records which include, while this is not an exhaustive list and the types of records you will need to keep depend on your line of work. Other records you should hold on to generally includes purchase orders, employment applications, emails and other business communications, inventory logs, personnel records, permit licenses, trademark registrations and patents. So, students, all these forms of records constitute the whole theory of types of records which is prevalent in almost every commercial and non-commercial organizations around the world. Thank you.